Matthew Lee, Intercity Press, on behalf of the Free UN Coalition for Access. Thanks a lot for this detailed briefing. I wanted to ask you about Bakassi Peninsula. There have been some reports of people that were, I guess, Nigerians that were there being chased out by Cameroon. How does that stand? How does the agreement stand? And I also wanted to ask you about another thing on Cameroon, southern Cameroons. There's been a lot of, this year there was a cutoff of the internet for 94 days. There's a lot of controversy about the Anglophone areas. I wonder, as a neighboring country that is Anglophone, what do you think do you think that there's a bigger role for the UN to get involved? What should be done about the aspirations, in some cases for independence, of southern Cameroonians? Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
The last question on the Bakassi Peninsula and dealing with Cameroon as well. It's interesting you should say that, because the day before yesterday, there was a special envoy that came to Nigeria from the president of Cameroon on all those issues. And on the Bakassi Peninsula, there was, a few months ago, there were claims that a number of Nigerians living there had been killed. And we were very quick to engage with the Cameroonians on that. And it turned out that that was not the case, that those numbers, it was not what happened. It was actually issues of tax and non-payment of tax. But, and there's a point that the Cameroonians made when they came, the envoy. He said, look, that there are 4 million Nigerians living in Cameroon and have been living there peacefully, and nobody has, given them any problems at all. So it doesn't make sense that they should suddenly, for 30,000 Nigerians, be suddenly become anti-Nigerian, where 4 million others are quite happy there. So we're working with them on that. I think, obviously, the Bakassi situation is unique in world history, really, because Nigeria accepted a court judgment and gave up part of its territory. Obviously, the Nigerians living there are going to have issues adjusting to that new reality. And so we have to work together, the two governments and the two peoples, to address this issue. On the question of the Anglophone Cameroonians, again, that's something that we've been engaging with the Cameroonians on, because some of the secessionists, as they might be, they said were operating from within Nigeria, or were in Nigeria, and we were going to address that, because we're certainly not going to harbor people who are trying to destabilize a friendly neighboring country, and we made that absolutely clear, but that's really internal Cameroonian affairs. That whole issue of the Anglophone, Francophone. We don't believe that it's something that necessarily warrants UN intervention. We believe that it's something that can be resolved within and amongst Cameroonians.
When they cut off the internet, did you have a concern about that? Just to follow up on that. When the internet was cut off for 94 days, do you think that that's what got you, the UN, I guess, involved, among other things?
Yeah. Well, we believe in freedom of information. As a country, I talked about human rights and what we're trying to do in the country, freedom of speech, freedom of information, and that's something, democracy is something that the Nigerian government stands for. Our intervention in the Gambia, I think, clearly shows that, and and that is our position. Of course, we also have a general position of non-interference in the internal affairs of other countries, but we have this principle and these values that we certainly seek to promote in Africa and enthrone in Africa. Thank you.